Y'all complaining about him going to war.
What she was gonna do?
But hold on, they complain about him going to war. And then as soon as she don't want to go to war, y'all complain about her ass not going to war.
Exactly.
So it's like whether they go, they don't go, y'all gonna be mad.
Them
like
folks still go do, and them folks still over there go as what this nigga said. Them folks will go do this shit regardless.
But they've been doing this since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
These folks survived before America.
Yeah.
They was fighting. So it's just about who's gonna pacify them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why I'm just like, I don't really know what to say about the whole war thing. I just don't want to get affected.
You gotta be real.
Apparently this shit for real though, what you were saying.
Yeah. I just don't want to get affected. I hate that.
You said your sister over there?
Yeah, she been out there for like 6 years.
Oh, but she been over
there. She been
over there like that. She was over there and being that bad.
Oh yeah, no, but she said they is making them. Not her, but I mean she's already there. But they is making them come. They is making them come. I'm like, ooh.
So you have the population.
Ooh.
What does this mean? It means that you win the war depending on how much the population is going to resist the invasion.
That's it right there.
Say, that's crazy, bro.
Nephew say you can call in. Call in so you can get on the show. Okay. That's it right there.
Say, that's crazy. crazy, bro.
Everything litty, I love when it's hot. Turned to the city, I broke out the notch. Got some more millies, I keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me and it don't false. We call him Chaucer cause they gonna chop. Took her out of filers cause her pussy pop. I run it like Nike, we got it on lock. Cardiac eye, I'm the boss man in a suit with no tie. I can't be sober, I gotta stay high. Pour me some syrup in the counter that's dry. Riding the special like Bunny and Clyde. Don't worry, baby, I keep me some fire. Shenanigans and Birkin, she cannot decide. The ladies Mercedes will go to surprise. Don't sleep on Miss Lady, her pussy, her pride. Digging her back while I'm gripping her sides. Digging my back, this ain't regular size. You really fly, we like pelican guys. Bitch, you ain't slick, I can tell her the skies. Upgrade at my wrist, put gas in the sky. She think I might sign her and change her whole life. I told her to goggle and work on her eyes. Everything litty, I love when it's hot. Turned to the city, I broke out the notch. Got some more millies, I keep me a knot. I created history, it made me a lot. He tried to diss me and it don't false. We call him Chaucer cause they gonna chop. Took her out of filers cause her pussy pop. I run it like Nike, we got it on lock. Candy, money, drink, Anna, burn, bring them in, say this. I don't wanna put it in the myself. I just passed it to the door like what it's about. I took the Billy Cool back and I hopped in the car. I put this bitch in front of the Billy in front of the driver. And man, this shit that is weed, can't smoke in the road. Right, wow. I'm stepped up and cut up, I'm drinking, I shoot off the tires. I'm in the coupe by myself. I had that kicker though when I was fast. Key to who was on the shelf. Horses around in the fan. I'm sick and tired of the young niggas act like they fine and telling them lies. Acting like they the one created this and they get all this drip from my guys. Yeah, Cartier eyes, Cartier coat, Cartier as the watch. Cartier look, Cartier the thigh. Cartier spec buffalo on the side. Prison cut diamonds, they Cartier, yeah. Cartier bad for the Cartier thigh. Sky Wrangler cool with 200 the dash. Cartier jeans, ain't no way I can say. Ain't no way I'm ever gon' go out. Man, I can't go out, no way I'm gon' go out. I just grip on her ass and I show out. I sit like a champ and I wait on her whole lot. I just whip up a new Chanel paddock. I whip with the wrist and I don't break the door out. Turn that whole top floor to a whole house. 100 racks and 1, 2 about to flood out.
Hey, everybody. This is Big Jeff and Shanita coming to you live. Shanita's online today. And we just want to give everybody a shout out and welcome everybody to the show. This is Big Jeff and Shanita from No Days Off Radio Production coming to you live with the #1 show in the land, Nothing But The Truth. All right. And to hope that everybody had a nice and healthy and supportive day at work today. You know, for those of us who went to work, those of us who, you know, trying to work but can't work, hope that you just had a blessing day as well. All right, today's show, we're going to talk about the misuse of child support and how it causes co-parenting issues. You know, and I want to end the show today about the P. Diddy trial. You know, we're going to speak on that for a few minutes at closing today. And we're going to just try to enjoy this weekend and make sure everybody have a safe and prosperous weekend. All right. Now, we have a conversation. Y'all know every time I mention something or we have an issue, we have a conversation or a debate at the studio about certain things, we talk about it, that we make that a show. So this is one of the conversations we was having here at the studio, and I decided I would talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So try to give everybody some insight on our experiences with, this situation of child support and, how it causes parental issues with the mothers and the fathers along with the kids. All right. Um, I have heard stories. I have family members, friends. People of that nature that has went through this child support issue. And now I'm having my own child support issue because, I'm now a victim of child support. And me not knowing how it works because I've never been through it before. It's a lot of things that I learned about it is shocking. And it's shocking to where some of the things that you are told as a person who's on child support is unbelievable. These caseworkers, man, they can say some things to you, and it can really have you unbalanced. For instance, you have some caseworkers who go beyond the call of duty, to where they're real arrogant with you. They have an attitude issue with people who are on child support, to where they act as if they have no understanding as to what a person could be going through, that could keep them from being able to pay or to, just have them in a loop. So we're gonna talk about the discussion that we was having as far as, some guys are just now like me. We newcomers to the child support ring compared to the veterans. And the veterans give us a lot of insight on, how to handle the situation as far as how they had to handle it. So everything that we speaking on is opinionated from the people who have went through it or going through it. So my issue with child support was when I was actually put on child support. I was told that, you can't give the kids more money than, is required by child support, which I feel like is really a no-no, because if a man wants to do for his children, he should be allowed to do it without it being a stipulation, without it being said that everything that you do for your kids or the mother of your kids is a gift. And they'll actually recommend that you don't give them no more than what you are supposed to give them. And the child didn't ask to be here. So why should the child have to pay the cost? Why should, and then as much as you can give child support, the more they take. If you're paying child support, I feel that if you're paying child support for your children and it's court ordered, why should the state get a portion of it? You didn't sleep with the state and have a baby by the state. What makes them entitled to be compensated for you paying child support? So it don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay you to be a narrator for me and my children. Where that makes sense at? But I can go visit the children. I can go pick my children up. I can go spend time with the children, the whole 9 yards. So what I need with the state controlling their funds, and they control it to an extent to where it can cause co-parenting issues between the mother and the father of those kids. For example, we had a situation where the child support had put out this abandonment charge. And upon addressing it, some fraud got mixed in with it. So, along with the fraud that got mixed in it, it was also notated that they actually would tell you certain things. So I was told that child support could hold your child support payments for up to 6 months before releasing it to the children. You know, that's a conflict. You know, because we have these mothers, you know, no one is considering the fact that it might be a child support case where you have a bitter mother or a bitter father that's being paid child support, and as soon as they don't receive the payment, they'll automatically assume that the person that's supposed to be paid child support hasn't paid their child support. So you have these women, you have these mothers and fathers who are calling to child support saying that they didn't receive their benefits, they didn't receive their child support benefits, you know, this, that, and the third. And then they call the spouse or they call the baby fathers or the baby mothers and they bash them, and it becomes an argument to where they're actually arguing about the other person not paying child support. Okay, so now, and you got men who have been arrested. You have women who have had the fathers arrested, you know, because they feel like they haven't paid child support, and they are steady pleading their case saying that they have paid child support. They don't know why they haven't received the funds and this, that, and the third. But you come to find out that this is the things that child support is able to do. That's too much power. That's too much power for a person to be an overseer. Especially when they can say, we can hold it for up to a certain amount of time before we send it to the children. How you make that make sense? But a man has been arrested, have served time in jail, the whole 9 yards, because he don't know that the system is able to do that to him or to us. But they go home at 5 o'clock. You sitting in a jail trying to figure it out, knowing that you have paid your child support or whatever you have to pay, and it's no one, you know, the children are not receiving it. That's even unfair to the kids. 6 months, you know what can happen in 6 months? Anything can happen. So therefore, if you're one of these parents who's paying child support and you're going through these unnecessary issues, maybe that's probably why. You know, because there's a lot of guys who actually pay their child support, who actually take care of their kids, the whole 9 yards, man. And they don't get the extended credit because of a technicality that's not beyond their control. They have nothing to do with it. They don't even have conscience of it. But you're dealing with a bitter co-parent who just don't want to accept something could be wrong. Or it could be a reason why they haven't received it. So it doesn't make sense, man. You know, we gotta make the system do better. I say that all the time. We gotta start protesting and standing on the things that matter, which is this. You know, it should be a better way for it to be done. You know, why not put the responsibility on the parents? Let the father be allowed to send the child support to the mother and the children instead of it having to go through a third party. So because when things happen, the first thing that the system will tell you, well, we don't do third party situations. But what the hell we got a third party in the business for? It don't make sense. We got to make this shit make sense. So this is a fight that we need to fight, people. We need to fight this fight so we can try to get the law changed. We can try to get better justice in the system on these situations. Because these situations are real threatening. Because if a man get arrested, he loses his job, he loses his livelihood, he possibly can lose his home, whatever he has going on, all of it can come to a halt just by somebody being able to do something that no one has knowledge of. That's not fair. That's not fair to that person. And police officers don't have the incident reports or the major reports in the system. The only thing the system don't tell them is, hey, his license suspended for child support. And there's their discretion to either take you to jail or write you a ticket and serve you. So you still fighting a losing battle. Then I found out that when it comes down to your driver's license, child support has nothing to do with that. On behalf of your license being suspended. And that shocked me when I was told that. I was told by a caseworker that child support does not have any bearings on your license being suspended. So what I was told by the DES, they told me that if a caseworker or if the department, if the child support department of Family Children Services or whoever, if they don't update their system within 30 days, the computer at the DMV automatically suspends your license. Are you damn serious? Are you really serious? So if these people don't update the system every month like they're supposed to, the computer automatically suspend your driver license? We gotta make that shit make sense. So there's another argument for parents, for co-parenting. Because like I say, these guys are pleading their cases, and their cases is not pliable. Because somebody gonna say, well, okay, you pay this amount of money. I've been paying y'all. If the man been paying you, why should he have to pay you some more money to get out of jail when you know he has been paying it, y'all just been holding it? That's fair. Is that fair to the person that's paying child support? Is it? We gotta make this shit make sense. The system is playing everybody on the money game. On the money game. How we gonna make that make sense? How? We have so many discrepancies in the Department of Family Children Services to where anything can go. You have Well, they said that they rotate caseworkers every 6 months to a year. So you go for a whole year not knowing this. Then when you have to go into the office for something, you find out that the person that was your caseworker is no longer your caseworker. Wow. Wow. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So, here we go with another thorn in our side. Because the new caseworker is not familiar with your situation. They're just going on what notes said on the computer. Because it was just handed to them. So, how you gonna win that fight? How? These are no-win situations that we're being put into. Hell, I found out that my son's grandmother tried to open up a new case on me. And I almost did it. But at the same token, she shouldn't have been allowed to do it, from what I was told. She shouldn't even been allowed to have paperwork done. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? So you got it's not what you know, it's who you know. She had to know somebody to get that paperwork done like that, and hope she can pull it off. So we got Shanita on the line. So Shanita, you want to say something to anybody? Shanita.
Hey.
Huh?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, girl. What's going on?
Hate I couldn't be there, but, life happens.
You here in spirit?
I'm here in spirit.
You here in spirit.
But I'm very well knowledgeable in the subject of child support.
Okay.
We got different views on that.
Okay. Let's hear your views.
A little bit. Hold on a second. Let me pause on that. Okay, there we go. So I had it playing on my laptop as well. Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you guys if you can hear me. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
They say we can hear you. They can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I heard what you were saying, Big Jeff, about how the grandmother tried to add you, update your child support, and add you. I have gotten so much. I hate having to go through child support and get my child support, but that's part of not being with the other parent who you had the child with. That's just part of it. It comes with not being, with the other parent. And hey, Peaches, all the time. And just for me, 74786. I see you guys online. Thank you for joining. But yeah, that comes with part of, not being with the other parent. You gotta support the child. And I know, like, a lot of fathers say, well, I could just give you money. But the mother or the person who has the child gonna spend way more money than what, the money that the father is giving anyway.
Okay.
We gotta take them to all the appointments, make sure they get to and from school. Like the non-custodial parent that's not with the child, of course they don't pay. In my situation, and a lot of situations that I'm aware of, I don't do it half as much as what the person that has the child do. So I think it's just the child support is kind of supposed to be kind of like a check and balance sort of thing. But sometimes they do abuse that. I do have to say that. Like, there's been times where my child's father would deposit funds, and I don't even get them. And even now, if he deposit funds on there, it takes me at least 3 or 4 days before I even get it. And
Yeah.
it's like, how?
There
When
you
the
go.
world is so, electronic right now,
Yeah.
like, why don't I get them as soon as he deposits them? Much less maybe the next day, maybe,
Yeah.
but 3 to 4 days.
Yeah, and and that's something else that like what we were speaking on. Why should why should that even be possible? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because a lot of things can happen in 72 hours.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody has the upper hand to say, well, we haven't received it yet, or it haven't posted yet. But here's a man being arrested, taken to jail, license suspended, all type of shit, all
Right.
because somebody prolonged their job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of
Right.
a price to pay. And then, like I said, then on upon them getting out, they be told that, okay, if they can pay this amount of money, we'll let them out. Are you damn serious? It's your
Yeah,
fault they in there.
I was just talking about that too. They'll send a letter to the parent, and they'll say, well, this father or the non-custodial parent is in default on a certain amount. We're going to lock him up. How much are you willing to take for him to get out? And like, who want to do that? Who want to be responsible
There you
of
go.
locking up the father of their child? Now your child gonna be at home crying. She found out her daddy in jail.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that, but at the same time, he has to understand that support has to be paid. It's not fair to make a child and
Yeah.
that
But
balance not be there.
but
But
my thing
I
is
can't.
my thing
Yeah.
is for the fathers who are paying it, who are paying it consistently and have to go through some difficulties because the state is holding the money. That's what raised my eyebrow.
Yeah, that's totally unfair.
You
That's
understand?
unfair.
And for
Yeah.
them to be able to acknowledge it to somebody that we can hold the child support for up to 6 months, man.
That's crazy.
But neither one of the parents is aware of that.
Neither one of the parents is aware,
So
right?
so now they are having a bickering
Mhm.
because the father is pleading his case to tell the mother, I've been paying child support. I'm not behind on it. It's up to date, this, that, and the other. But she hasn't received funds. So she don't have a choice but to think that he haven't been doing what he doing, supposed to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because she's not gonna call down to the state and ask them.
Yes, I will.
You know what
But
I'm
I don't have
saying?
that issue. My daughter's father, we work together.
One in a
So I
million.
don't I don't have that issue. But
One in a
I'm
million.
aware of those issues, and
Yeah.
I know people that do have those issues, and thank God I'm not one of those, because
Yeah.
he's pretty good about when I'm having any kind of issues. Even when he'll tell me, "Hey, I put that money on there today. If it's not on,"
Yeah.
so I keep on saying, when I get a chance, I'm gonna go in there and counsel that mess, because they hold your money, like you said, until they feel like releasing it to you.
There you go. But this child gotta eat, gotta have a roof over their head,
Mm-hmm.
gotta be clothed.
Got to have utilities. The
That's
light
the
bill, people
thank you.
not gonna want to wait until the money
But
posts. They
see,
want
that's the
the money right
purpose.
away.
But you'll stand in a courtroom and say and tell in front of a judge and say, Your Honor, we're seeking this because this is what the child deserves. This is what the child needs to be receiving. This, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
other. And when a man fulfill his court order, he still had to be faced with a dilemma because of the
Right.
game they're playing.
Crazy.
You gotta make it make sense, man. So for those guys who are not trying to pay their child support, hey man, I wish you all the luck in the world. But you gotta take care of your children.
Right.
You gotta take care of your children. So, excuse me. So we gotta make these stands, man. So that the system can at least do their job
Mhm.
instead of just passing the buck. Cause that's all.
Exactly.
That's all they doing, passing the.
Just
Hey, man,
like with everything else, we just got to fight for,
that's
the
it.
changes that we believe in, and we got to support the things that are near and dear to us, and the things, if the child support issue, there are groups to advocate for those type things.
And it's sad because these people get paid for that.
Right.
They get paid to mediate your money.
Mhm.
Cause they can't mediate the parents cause they never talk to the parents at the same time. So how can they
Right.
why are they mediators and they never have a conference with both parents at the same time?
That's kind of crazy.
You know, hey man, the only thing they're concerned about is the absent parent paying their child support so that they can get their fee
Yeah.
when they shouldn't be even entitled to a fee. They didn't. They
Mm.
shouldn't. You ain't doing no damn work. You ain't doing no hell of a work for somebody to have to
Right.
pay you $30, $40 a month. You ain't doing no hell of a work like that. You sitting behind a desk, mashing a button, putting somebody's history up, and saying, "Okay, this is what you gonna have to pay." That's it. You learn
Mm.
that in court.
Wow.
You learn that in court. So what you need with an officer overseeing it? That make it make sense.
Make it
Be-
make sense now.
because the officer, the guy, the parent still got the right to say yeah or nay.
At the end of the day,
Thank you. So what having a what is the purpose of a mediator? They can't make no decision.
at all.
You know what I'm saying? They can't control the
Well,
narrative.
the mediator kind of helps come to a common ground between both parties.
Sometimes.
They supposed to negotiate. They
Yeah.
supposed to come to a negotiation like they hear what you. It's supposed to be a neutral party.
Yeah.
So the mediator is supposed to like hear what you say and hear what the other party say, and then try to come to some type of compromise
But
between the two.
saying this what scared me. This what scared me.
Hmm.
What if your caseworker or your mediator, supposedly, what if they're one of these bitter parents who has a child support case with a deadbeat dad or a deadbeat mother?
A lot of times that is too, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Don't you know? Do you think that's fair for them to be in that type of position?
But it's the same thing with anything. What if you have an unfair um, judge that has been through the same thing for either party? What if it's an unfair woman or
Yeah.
unfair male?
That,
It's
that
the same with anything.
you're right. You're right. But on certain things, they have to still have a composure. On child support, they don't have to have a composure because
Yeah.
no one never seen them. They signing a piece of paper, passing it back to whoever asked them to sign it, and that's the end of that.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
judges, the judges that you go before for child support, these are not judges that you gonna see all the time.
Again. Right. I don't know though, but some of them are like I know in Marietta and Cobb County, those child support judges are also judges in other cases in
Yeah,
Cobb County.
yeah.
So you just might.
No, what I'm saying is, you might not see that judge after your first case with him for child
Oh,
support.
okay. Mhm.
Next time you go to court, you might be going before a different judge.
Oh, okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So no one will never be familiar with your situation
Right.
because you're always going before somebody different. You know what I'm
That's true.
saying? So where you get how do you get a fair shake on that? Now, like we talking. What if this, like you say, what if this judge is a person that's going through something similar, and it's a woman? She gonna throw the book at your ass, home.
Yeah,
Now, if
she
it's a
definitely gonna do
man,
that.
he might be kind of understanding to the man, unless he just not doing nothing. But that woman,
Right.
hey man, if she bitter, you gonna get it, brother. You gonna get it. You gonna pay the price for the man that she got on child support. Cause she gonna put y'all in the same boat, man. Crabs in a bucket.
She gonna put y'all in the same boat.
In the same boat, man. So now you gonna get home and don't even know why. Again. Cause your judge going through the same thing. So now you finna have to pay the price too. You know. So it can cause a lot of issues, man. And it's all because the absent parent or the parent that has the court order to pay child support has not been told everything that can happen in child support. We learn as we go.
Learn as we go.
And sometimes we don't learn then. Because they're not going to give you all the ingredients to the cake. Because you'll know how to handle them then.
Right.
You know, you pay a man paying 200 and something dollars a month, and that's minimum for child support, but the child support caseworker gets 26 or 36 or $46 out of that 200 and something dollars. Why?
How? Like what?
Cause
I
you
don't
have to pay.
understand that.
Cause they that's how they get paid.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, they make a percentage out of that money.
Wow.
You know, so that's not fair.
That's definitely not fair.
'Cause
I
this
had no
person-
idea about that.
Yeah, this person got the upper hand to play all kind of games with a man, man.
Mm.
She can easily say, we have received payment. Who gonna check it?
That's crazy. But my thing is like, would you make your payments, or would you give money to contribute to the child? I'm not saying you in general. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I understand.
like, if you weren't required to do that, would you do what you were supposed to do? Because
I think a man would. I think he'll do it quicker. And I'm gonna say it like this right here. This is me. Like I say, this is me talking. My opinion. I feel like a man may pay child support or give his children, you know, some type of income quicker because he don't have a system trying to force him to do it. Because you know, we got to always understand that it's either or. Just because the judge done, you know, put a order in to say this is what you got to pay, that still don't mean he gonna pay it. You still don't have a guarantee that he's gonna pay.
that's
So
true.
why not let him hurt himself? Let him hurt himself. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, if you don't take care of these children, at the first sign of her filing anything that has something to do with you not taking care of these children, we're gonna pick you up, dog.
We're gonna pick you up, give him an opportunity.
There you go. We're gonna pick you up. We don't need nobody to narrate that. You know, a judge will sit in a courtroom and tell you, I'm gonna hold you accountable to do this. I'm not holding your lawyer accountable. I'm not holding your mom and dad and family members accountable. I'm holding you accountable. So why not tell them that on that note too? Because at
I
the
get
end of
what
the
you're
day,
saying.
it's still
Right.
his discretion to do what he got to do. You know, I done seen guys have 2 and 3 and 4 court orders. Hey man, that's a lot of court orders to have. Do you think they give a damn if he can fulfill it or not? No. Cause they know he can't. If you barely making ends meet at your house, how you gonna make them meet at somebody else's house as well? That's gonna be hard to do. That's gonna be real hard to do. So, you know, now we got another co-parenting issue. So having a narrator or having a mediator,
Mhm.
what's the purpose? What's the purpose? You know, to control the situation. You can't control the situation if a person ain't made up in their mind they just not gonna do what they wanna do. They supposed to do. So what's the
Right.
purpose of a mediator? You know, we got
Well, I guess
that's free
they
money.
they they supposed to
They supposed to.
talk to you, talk to her, and then come to some type of common agreement. That's
Them,
what they're supposed to do.
them folks will tell you, well, this is what we agreed to do, this, that, and the third. That's not a negotiation.
Right.
You telling me what it is.
What it is.
Shit. But you supposed to be a mediator.
Mm-mm-mm.
You supposed to be trying to see what's going on with both sides and make the best decision.
Right.
So why not have both sides there together?
You're supposed to.
You supposed to.
You do, yeah, you're supposed to have both sides together. You're supposed to get, well, what they do is they talk to one side individually and the other side individually, and
That,
then they come together collectively and have an agreement. That's what they're supposed to do.
yeah. But what if that's not the issue? You know, I would like to see somebody be sitting in one of those mediating sessions and say, well, we gonna handle it ourselves. We don't need no mediator. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to
Need a
come back to
median.
court. We don't need to do none of this. We gonna sit down and talk, and we gonna come to some type of an agreement, and we gonna live with it.
That's what you're supposed to be able to do, though. You're supposed to be able to talk to each other and come to an agreement without having a third party. But when you can't, that's how it ends up in the courts.
But who say you can't?
Because who's to say that it has to be in court?
There you
It's
go.
it's you two to make that decision. Well, really, the custodial parent makes that decision,
Yeah.
and or if she has to get, like, say for instance, if she has to go and get some type of welfare or public assistance, then they're gonna look at it. They're gonna come after you without her having to
Yeah, they do
initiate
that.
anything.
Yeah, cause
Yeah,
they,
because
they
they're
do
gonna.
that.
Yeah, because they're gonna say, okay, why are we paying for this child? He got a whole father.
You're definitely right. But now, what if the father? Now this is something else I had a question on. What if the father is like me, then have a 40-year work history,
Mhm.
and the child and he can receive his benefits? Why can't his benefits go to the child?
They can, but what you have to do if you've never been married to the mother, and again, we do have to say we're not attorneys, we're not giving legal advice, we're just giving our opinions and our experiences. So it can, but what you have to do is have the child legitimized. If you were never married to the mother, like say for instance, if you died and you had
Yeah,
you were getting Social Security and you died. Your kids, if you have not legitimated them, they may not be able to get to draw from your Social Security because there's not a legal process saying that you were actually their father.
seeing now,
So
and I blame that on our system. I blame that on the system because I feel like, and I have always felt like this, every man should be mandated to have a blood test with their kids.
But they
It should
don't
be,
like you can it, like DFACs give them for like real cheap. Like
yeah.
say for instance, if you
No,
have a
what I'm saying,
mhm,
this father should be tested at birth.
at birth,
At birth. At the child's birth, the father should be tested right then. If he there. If he there, now if he's not there, then he should be made once the woman has indicated that she's with child, whoever she say the father is should have to be made to
tested
come
at
to the
birth.
hospital
Yeah.
and have himself checked.
Why? But why? No, who's stopping him from doing so? Like,
They,
say for instance, if you thought you had a woman pregnant
yeah.
and she had a baby, and you guys fell out for some reason, you didn't talk to her
No,
anymore.
it ain't got nothing to do with fallout. This should be a
Listen, but
law.
I'm just giving an example. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm just saying. What if that happened? But you wanted to know if that was your child or not, but you couldn't get in contact with her. You can go down to Department of Family and Children
Yeah.
Service in your local county,
Definitely.
and you can petition for paternity.
Yeah, definitely. But what I'm saying is, I feel like it should be a law that you had to do that. You understand what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like that should be one of our laws because you gonna have to wind up doing it regardless.
Right.
You understand? Cause like you saying, if she apply for benefits and all this, it's gonna come at you cause she say
It's
you the
coming back
father.
anyway.
Thing is,
Yeah.
so why not go and make it a law to where if a woman say that you are the father of her child, you should be it should be mandated and made mandatory that you have to take a blood test with that child.
Mm,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
No, that's right.
You know,
Yeah.
cause a lot of time, man, that that can
That
help
way
a
you
lot
could
of
go ahead and
situations.
kill a whole lot of doubt by
There you
doing
go.
that up front,
There
right?
you go. There you go.
I agree with you on that.
There you go. Make it mandatory.
Make it mandatory.
You know what I'm saying? So now he has his own paperwork. He know that the child is his or not his or however it's supposed to be. The whole 9 yards. Cause it was a law that he had to follow.
Mhm.
And if we don't do it, then he should be, it's no different than a man not coming to court, to be proven to be the child father. And then just
Mhm.
because he didn't come to court, the judge say, well, okay then, we're gonna go on and just kill this case and we just gonna make him the father.
Right.
Bullshit.
Oh, I think they do though. I think if there's a question of paternity, that has to be addressed before any child support is ordered.
Yeah. But now sometimes they can just say, hey man, this is baby. And if his ass don't come to court, they award her with it.
Yeah,
You know what
he
I'm
gotta
saying?
be there. Yeah. But I don't think they don't just award it without sending him notices, giving him an
That's
opportunity
what I'm
to
saying.
come.
He had to come to court, and he don't come to court. So the judge said, "Well, okay, then we're gonna dismiss this case, and the child is his
How can they do that though?
until he prove it."
They at this point, I think they make you take the
Yeah, you got to take it. You need to take it. You need
Yeah,
to
they
take
make you do that paternity
Yeah, they
these
should.
days because
And that's
just
more
because
than
they
fair.
don't want to put in order something and then you come back and
Yeah.
be found not the father. Now you can sue them too.
Yeah, and
So
that's more than fair, man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You just can't
I
go
think that
on
may have
her
used to
word.
be in the old days where they didn't do that, but
Yeah.
not nowadays. No,
You
they're gonna
can't go.
test that
Yeah, you
paternity
can't go
before
on
you
her
leave.
word. She done slept with everybody in the city, man.
Uh oh.
but you gonna make the baby mine. Now some of y'all do that now. You know, you got some women out there who do that now.
Mm.
The man who treated it best get the baby.
Uh-oh. Yeah. That happens sometimes. It does. You have to,
The man she loved the most get the baby.
yeah, that happens sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I done seen some horror
The man
stories.
she feel like it's the cutest get the baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, y'all put some shit in the game too
Uh-huh.
to make a man think like that. You know,
Uh-oh.
but what get me be is this, you know, and I'm being serious when I say this. What what kills me with some of the men that does that, you done slept with this woman for 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
She gets pregnant, and your inconsiderate ass sit back and say, I don't think it mine, cause she done slept with more people than me.
That's crazy.
That make you a damn fool then.
Yeah.
If you know that,
Don't worry about what she done been with.
thank you.
You just go get
Just
the test
prove
and take the
yourself.
test
There
done.
you go. Just prove yourself, clown.
Yeah. Prove your you know, if you're the father
That
or
should
not.
be all the more reason why you should
You
want a
should
blood
want to
test.
know the truth.
Thank you.
Right.
You know, but see, I'm gonna tell you what we get stuck in sometime as men, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
said this when we had this conversation here at the studio. See where y'all get us at be say you say I'm pregnant, I'm with child, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's yours. And the guy standing there, he said, well, man, you know, I don't know about that, or you sure, or this, that, and third. Then he come and tell the fellas, but it ain't my baby. She can't be pregnant by me. She been dealing with Dil John and Happy Sam. Okay. Now, here it is, 4 or 5 months into your pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking to him and you say this shit right here. Oh, I'm having a little girl. Now,
Oh.
now if he one of those guys that want a daughter, oh he you know that's his shit.
That's what his
But
yeah.
let me tell you something. Where y'all can get us at is when y'all say it's a boy.
Uh,
When you tell them sad sacks that they finna have a son, man, they wouldn't care if you done slept with everybody in the city you in.
eh,
They chest go way out. They poke their chest out something serious, boy. Get the bragging to the fellas, man, man, I'm finna have a son. Oh, so it's yours now since it's a boy. You feel what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Now you ain't
I
got
see
no
what you're saying.
doubt cause it's a boy. And that's how y'all get us. That's how y'all dead ring us because every man wants a son. Every
Oh.
man wants a son.
Yeah, but we can't tell y'all that we can't. It's both ways. It goes both ways.
It always go both ways. But
It
we
goes.
get the shortest end of the stick every time.
How do you think that? You have to be more
Because
selective in the
because we
partners that you choose.
because we want a son.
You still have to be more selective of the partners that you lay down with.
How can you be selective of the partners you lay down with?
You just have to. You have to, like now, you can't tell me you making the same choices that you made 10 years ago. You grow, you learn.
Some of us are. Some of us are now. Some of us still making the same mistakes we made 10 years ago because we didn't see nothing wrong with it. 10 years ago, like we don't see nothing wrong with it 10 years later.
What Darius say about this? What's your opinion? He
we
got
go,
children.
we gonna let Darius.
Come on,
We gonna
Darius.
let Darius speak on that.
What Darius say about this?
So,
I'm
because I'm not in the system no more, I'm gonna plead the fifth because I'm out the system. So I'm
Okay.
just glad to be out the system.
Now that's a good answer. That, now that's a good
Good
answer.
answer for 2000, Derek. Good, Darius. Good
Hey,
answer. Good
and I'm
answer.
glad he put it just like that, cause with the judicial system we got right there in Fulton County, shit, if he probably said something different, he might go back in the system.
He might need to be quiet. Exactly. I feel you. I understand.
He'll get his letter in the morning.
It's a sensitive topic for
we
men. I
found
get it.
we found $2 that you didn't pay.
They do.
Hell
I mean,
yeah.
I've seen some guys get railroaded, but I've
Yeah,
also
right.
seen some that just beat the system and
Yeah.
and don't want to pay.
Yeah.
They just want to make kids and have thousands of kids everywhere and don't want to
Oh
pay
yeah,
for the kids.
definitely. So
So
hey
I say
man.
I've seen it. I think I'm kind of
It
I
have
have
its
diverse
perks.
opinions. I can see it from everybody's point of
Yeah,
view.
it have its perks, man. But
Yeah.
me being a newbie to it, man, this is some fascinating shit to me.
I don't see you. Right. You about too old to be trying
It's
to
a,
be a
it's
newbie to some
it's
child
it's some
support.
fascinating shit. I ain't never been on child support. Never. I take care of my children. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then,
So
how did you get on it? Did the mother go in there and
yeah,
initiate it for you to get on child support?
the mother went and did whatever she felt like she needed to do for support. But I told him, I got a 40-year work history. Give my child my pension. Shit, it's the only one that probably can receive it anyway. Everybody else grown. So give him my pension. Damn some Medicaid and Medicare. Shit, he can have his own insurance. He can get on my insurance.
Insurance should be free like in Canada
Thank
anyway.
you. It should be free. Cause
Shoot.
hell, they ain't doing nothing with it anyway.
And car insurance. That's
Yeah.
just a rip
They
off.
ain't doing nothing with it. Insurance is the biggest scam in the world. Insurance is the biggest scam in the world, man. You know.
Right.
So, we just gotta start standing on a lot of things
Stand
that the
on.
system has put in play, man, to
Right.
make things, you
To
know,
divide
yeah.
because they need to be putting more things in place to help people become families and
There
stay
you go.
families, you know?
Instead of separating them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Long time ago, they say that the goal was to remove the black man out of the household.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know what I'm
And that's what they
saying?
say about that Section 8 and stuff, how you can't get help if you got a man in the house with
Yeah.
you. Like, even if he's there trying, you know?
What sense that make?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole lot of technicalities that the system put in that messes a lot of things up when it comes down to co-parenting, especially with the child support.
Mhm.
The system got a lot to do with a lot of the torture that a man or a woman has to take just for
Right.
being on child support. You know, I asked myself this question one day: why do they call it child support? Why?
Because
That
it,
just an
it, it it really
excuse?
does support the child, though.
No, not
Because
necessarily, not all the time.
Cause the child has to eat. The child has to have utilities. The
Yep.
child has to, has
Oh,
to
okay.
have basic needs,
Okay,
and
I
it
tell you
shouldn't be
what.
on one
I tell
person.
you what then. I tell you what then. So if that's 100% true, right?
Hmm.
Why do a man be told you don't have to give them but $200 a month when it costs $2,000 a month for them to live?
Well, because some of them go in there and act like they don't have income, and the courts look at it like you're gonna have to pay something.
I get that. No, what I'm saying is if we calling it child support and what you saying about it being being a bill payer or a system that allows you to take care of your children, why would they allow you to give a child the base minimum
Because they give you
when the cost of
opportunity
living,
to get it.
the
They
cost
give
of
you
living,
opportunity to get it together, though. They give you opportunity to
$200 Shanita ain't gonna get nobody ass together in 30 days.
It ain't, but you gonna have to do something.
What
If
can
you
you
haven't
do?
done
What
nothing,
can you do with
that's how they. I'm
$200?
just telling you how they looking at it.
What kind
You
of
ain't been
what kind of dent can $200 make on a household on bill wise?
$200 can pay a water bill.
Shit. What
Two
water that is?
hundred dollars
What
can pay a bill. $200
what you
is
mean? What you mean water bill like going in Kroger buying some water?
no.
Cause
Two
the
hundred
damn sure
dollars
ain't
can
gonna be
pay a
that water
monthly
bill
water
at the
bill.
house. The water bill at the house gonna be $250 and better.
No, it don't.
Shit.
No, it don't.
I need to come stay where you stay.
A water bill, 200 can pay. It
Okay.
can pay a lunch fee at school, $200.
A lunch fee. Them children don't eat that shit anyway.
Some of them do. Well, if you think
They-
it's not a big deal, then
they- they drink the milk.
why would that?
They
You
drink
don't
the
think
milk.
$200 a big deal?
See, when I was in school, I didn't like when I ate lunch in school. It was just only when they served pizza and corn and cookies. All that other shit, I didn't go for it. But I want that school pizza.
You want the school pizza?
Yeah, I want that school pizza. That school pizza was the shit. Yeah, that school pizza was doing numbers. So you get in line 2 or 3 times to get that school pizza.
I did. I used to like school pizza too.
Yeah, but $200, man, that's not. Hey, that don't even scratch the surface. Now, what you think about this? $200, and the child needs some shoes or some clothes, and the bill need to be paid. What sacrifice will be made?
I think you need to do more than $200.
What sacrifice will be made? You say $200 can do a little something. I'm trying to make it make sense.
It's better than zero.
Hey man, something always better than nothing. But in a household, you gotta have something. Cause that's nothing. $200, $50, $25, $80. Are you serious?
Well, it depends on what income you report to the court. If you go in there and say you're not working, you're going through disability or you going through that, they're gonna try to work with your income that you're getting based on the information that you presented to them.
Okay, I just want to kind of interject right here. You know,
What you think?
The new system that they do have now, they do base the child support off both parents' income.
There you
So
go.
it's not
They do.
It's not just the father.
There you
so
go.
even if the
Right.
father go in there and say he ain't got no money, the mama had to go in there and say she ain't got no money too for you to get $200.
There you go. There you go. $200. $200 cause both of us coming in there with the bullshit.
I don't think so because for instance, when we did it when we got divorced. They used both of our incomes.
See, you were married to a rich man though.
But say for instance, if I made $100,000 a year and he only made $20,000 a year,
Yeah.
you think they gonna say, "Oh, just because you made 20, you ain't gotta pay nothing"? No, they
Oh
gonna
no. He gonna have to pay some. You know.
They gonna make him pay something based on what he can afford, right?
Definitely, you gonna have to do that. Yeah, we get that. I'm just saying, you know, it shouldn't be to where the system has to be involved with what you do for your child.
What you do with your child?
You understand? It should.
I get it.
You know,
I get it.
because like I said, at the end of the day, the parent still can say yeah or nay. The parents still can say to themselves, I ain't paying shit. And just take that little lock up every time, you know, every 6, 7 months or however, When they lock them up, they sit in jail. They gonna let them go. You know what I'm
And
saying?
they gonna let them go.
They
Now
gonna let them go.
they only gonna lock you up if they catch you doing something illegal, because not paying your child support is not
It's
illegal.
not illegal.
It's illegal when they suspend your license and then you get behind the wheel and you drive a car.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what
See
they
that?
really get you at,
There you go.
because they want you to get in the car and drive, because they know you driving.
But they
And
want you to go to work.
correct, because you're going to work. So
Yeah.
they're going to lock you up. And when you get locked up, then they going to hit you with the citations, and then they going to hit you with child support, which
There you go.
most of the time people ain't got all of the money that
There
they're
you go.
requesting,
There you
Yeah.
go.
along with the child support.
Now
So
you
you
gonna
sit in
sit
there
in
for
there for
6
them
months,
little days, yeah.
and then you go get behind some more, and then it's just going to be a recurring cycle.
Thank you.
That's how it
Shit.
be. You
So
right though.
where the win at? Who winning? Nobody but the system.
Nobody winning.
Ain't nobody winning but the system.
Right.
The parents are not winning. You know what I'm saying? The system winning, man, because you got me as a caseworker, and I'm locking your ass up because I want them $46 that I'm supposed to make off of that case right there every month. Do you know the type of money these caseworkers making by having, you know, people on child support and they getting 26, 36, $46 a month from each person.
Mm.
From
I
each
had no
person.
idea. I didn't know that they had to pay
Yeah.
the caseworkers.
The caseworker, they fee come out of that child support payment you make.
That's crazy.
And that's crazy.
That's what you call a transaction fee.
Transaction fee. There you go.
Definitely.
That's the transaction. What the hell? A transaction fee? First of all, I sent my payment in through the mail or direct deposit. So what the hell transaction did you do?
For the smart niggas like my Uncle Jeff, we gonna call that a processing fee then.
Processing.
A processing fee.
Shit.
A processing fee.
Hey man, so now you booking me in. You booking me in. So I'm in jail going to child support. I'm in jail. So I gotta be booked in every month. You booking me in. And the only thing you saying in your note is Jeff paid. Really? Really, that get you $46 just to say Big Jeff paid. Do you know if you got 100? Look at the numbers, man. If you got 100 people on your caseload, and you making anywhere from $26 to $46 per person. Hey man, that's a hell of a check every month.
I don't think they do it for that though. It can't be that much money that they're making.
Telling you, Google it. Google everything else. We Google. You know, we need to Google this type of shit to see what those caseworkers make, man.
They don't make that much. They're state employees.
Hey man,
they don't make that much. You can go to
no, all of them ain't state employees. That's something else I found out too, y'all. Some of these companies are not state companies. Some of these companies are private companies.
That's true.
That's being paid to handle these shit. That's why they get paid. Because that's how they pay themselves. It's no different than these fake ass probation officers.
That's true though.
You have to go see.
Real true.
You on probation, you got to pay a probation fee. Because those people get paid. That's their money.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm paying you to allow me to come and see your black ass every month. Really? Really?
Oh, it is crazy.
You know, we're in the wrong business, people.
I say that all the time.
Shit, we're in the wrong business, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit. It don't make sense. it got to add up to something, man. Cause right now it's not adding up to nothing. But these are things that systems like child support, probation, and all this shit, it causes issues. Child
Yeah.
support is one of the child support is one of the biggest co-parenting issues that I have seen yet, man. That I have seen yet. You know, and it's and sometimes it looks like the opposing parent don't have a chance, man. Whether it's the man or the woman, they
I
don't have a
feel like that
chance.
sometimes, seriously.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, who win in this process? Who win?
Right.
So I can I can relate to Donald Trump, to President Trump
Hmm.
stopping a lot of government programs like that.
I definitely can too.
You understand what I'm saying? Because they don't make sense.
Well, and also being a person like myself who's been in working, who's been a federal employee over 15 years, I see the abuse of some of these programs and some of these people in
They don't make
places
sense.
they're supposed to be helping people and they don't. So,
But you
yeah.
got a person making $100,000 and better a year to oversee a program like that. Really? For what?
Hmm.
For what?
And you ain't seen half the negative things they do to these veterans, but
There
nobody
you
want
go.
to talk about
You
that.
know. So, but we gonna speak on the veterans. We gonna put together a play. We're gonna do a show about the veterans. Probably we'll do that next week,
Okay.
and we're gonna talk about how they do our poor veterans. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah, they do
saying?
them
You
bad.
know, and me myself on a veteran behalf, I feel like if you are a veteran and you done had to go to war for your
Fight for this
country,
country.
or you done
Yeah.
had to do anything to protect us, and you made it back home, everything that you do for the rest of your life should be free. That's my opinion.
No, that's
All
right.
veterans should be living free, especially if they have fought in a war.
Fought in the war.
Because there's no way, man, we can make sense out of a veteran or one of our military personnel going to war, fighting for hundreds and thousands of days, and make it back home and can't get no services.
You can't get no service.
That
Can't get
shit
no
is
help.
ridiculous. That's
Have
pitiful,
to
man.
cry and be calling about their
Thank you.
benefits. Meanwhile, you got workers changing their transcripts and dates and records and all
There you
kinds
go.
of things that they're doing to the veterans and then don't want you to talk about it.
Thank you. So that's hey man, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face to our veterans. So we need to be trying to put something together to try to see if we get something beneficial going on for these veterans,
Mm-hmm.
especially those that have lost limbs, that
Mm-hmm.
got this um um that damn what it is PSD.
PTSD, post traumatic
PTSD.
stress syndrome.
Hey man, come on, man. These people are going through mental anguishes
Yes.
from seeing people get killed, from killing people, from seeing people who they have went through and served with get their lives taken right before their eyes, man.
Mm.
That's some shit to deal with.
It's real sad. Yeah.
But you come home and you don't get no recognition. No one.
Mm.
You have to
Mm.
struggle to
Mm.
get benefits. You have to struggle to get medical treatment. You have to struggle. You have to struggle to do everything in order to continue your life when you come home. No, man,
Jesus.
that's not right. That's not fair. They
Right.
should live for free. They should have. They should have. They should have sites. They should have goddamn communities for all veterans, man.
And they don't, and it's unfortunate.
See, they should have communities everywhere for for veterans. That's where you live at when you come back home.
And they should let people that have criminal records, like everybody's saying that we were going to go into War 3 if Trump hadn't did the negotiations with Iran. But I think that it's so many people who they label as felons and criminals that would be perfect to go fight in a war.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
like in South Carolina, in their Supreme Court, Superior Court in South Carolina, they actually do have a program, a diversion program,
Yeah.
where if you want to go into the military, we'll drop these felonies against you.
That's right.
We don't have stuff like
That's
that
right.
in Georgia, but that is a program implemented in
And we
South
should.
Carolina.
And we should have that. We should
Yeah.
have that. You know what I'm saying?
Especially for first offender, you know.
Put some behind,
You
put
know,
some kind of stipulation on it
Georgia, I
other
think
than
Georgia
just
needs
first
to have
offender.
more alternative programs to
Yeah.
help people,
That'd be
whether
too.
it's drug court, mental health court, veterans court,
Thank you.
versus trying to find a way to lock them up in their regular Fulton County jail and let them die of bed bugs or whatever else going on there, or even any other jail, because there really is no rehabilitation in jail. You just going to jail, you coming out worse. Now they give them drugs when they get in jail, so they coming out on drugs. They coming out just worse mental health than they had than when they went in there.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, and this shit don't make sense, man. It don't make sense. You know, but everybody just want to pass the buck.
Mhm.
You know, everybody want to gain praise off of nothing.
Yeah, it's
You know
sad.
what I'm
It's
saying?
real sad.
You know, so it don't make sense. So
Make
we're gonna talk about Mr. Diddy, and then we're gonna end the show. Like I said, we're gonna speak on P. Diddy and how his trial is going. And you know, so far, you know, everybody I know of everybody that's following, y'all see that they have dropped a lot of charges.
Yeah.
You know, the government has dropped a lot of charges, you know,
Mhm.
off of that case, you know, which is a good thing.
It's a good
It's a
thing.
good thing, you know, because the trial, you know, like I compared it to our trial, the YSL trial,
Mhm.
you know, here's a man that's going through the same thing that the guys
Same
of the
thing.
YSL trial
And,
went
and
through.
and there's no recompense for
There you go.
for all that time he done sat in jail, and now all of a sudden we're gonna drop a ton of charges, but we still
Yeah.
gonna go after these charges. But
There you
what if
go.
he's found not guilty of those charges as well?
There
And
you
he
go.
done sat in jail all this time, and nobody's gonna pay him for the deals he's lost. Nobody
you
can
go.
repay him for the reputation that
They
they've
destroyed.
had. And my thing is, why is everybody not saying, how the hell does Cassie get the damn money and she get to get on stand and
And she
talk?
get to get on stand and talk.
Where do
Ain't
you
that
get to
something?
settle and get a settlement
Ain't that something?
and you still running your mouth? Like, I don't get that.
Because they feel like they can do that to us. They can do that to us. You know what I'm saying? They can do that to us. So
That's
hands
crazy
down,
to me. Right.
hands down, they can do it. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
crazy.
So
Yeah.
you know, and like I say, man, this case is so much like our case. It's just we just didn't have
Yeah.
the same factors in this
The
case.
same.
But it's
Yeah.
being handled the same way. You
The
accuse a
same
man,
way.
yeah, you accuse a man of one crime, but the only thing you talking about in trial is a whole lot of more shit
A whole lot of other
that
stuff
don't have
that,
that don't
that you
have
trying
no
to make stick.
don't have
Right.
no relevancy whatsoever to what his charges are.
To what his charges are. Right.
And that's sad.
That's sad.
That's sad.
That
Now-
they could be allowed to just keep
Thank you.
doing that
You
to
keep
people.
doing this to people, man. You trying to charge a man. You trying to charge a man with these heinous ass crimes. But the only thing you're putting on the witness stand is people who he was in a relationship with. when you're in a
And who's
relationship,
already settled to stand. I ain't heard nobody other than her get up and
thank you,
say he just
thank you.
been doing all this or doing
There
that
you go.
to them. But
There
the
you go.
fact of the matter is, why did you accept the money?
There you go.
You already accept the money. You've already been paid for
She
whatever
should
he did.
have been a non-factor in this case.
Yeah.
She shouldn't
How
even
did they
been
let her
allowed to
keep the money?
testify.
And yeah, that is what you call that?
Huh?
Not blackmail, but
Yeah. That
bribery. What is it? It's
for one
something
thing,
like
for one thing, that should have been a conflict of interest. Because you played a role in this shit and then you bucked on it because y'all went y'all separate ways.
Cause he got him a black girl.
You know what I'm saying? You know, so she should have, anything she said should have been admissible. She shouldn't have been allowed to testify to nothing. And then on top of it, she kind of helped to say that she participated. Because you did.
She did.
But you didn't participate because you were forced to do it, though.
Right. Like she tried to say.
Yeah, you participated because that's the type of shit you was on because you knew who you were with.
Because you wanted it to be on.
Thank you.
You wanted that status. You wanted that groupie status.
There you go.
You want the status of being his girlfriend. And you were willing to do whatever you had to do to keep that position.
There you go. So, so we gonna wish P Diddy all the luck next week. As far as the jury going into deliberation. The case was, both sides had did their closings today. Well, they've been doing it since Wednesday, I think, and hopefully P Diddy will come out. With some truth in the matter of this trial to where he can go home. And be done with this situation. Because that's like I say, man, it's really disgusting how everybody is able to just throw stones at people, man, and cause them a difficult situation in their lives to where they have to go to jail and sit in jail on nothing.
Until they prove their innocence.
Man.
When it should be the other way around.
Thank you. They
should
say
be innocent and they have to prove their guilt, but it's other way around.
Every trial we
black
have
and
seen
brown people
in the last 6 or 7 years with these entertainers, they have been automatic convictions, and they have to prove their innocence.
They got to prove they're innocent. That's crazy.
So we're going to keep our prayers open. We're going to put our prayers up for P. Diddy and all the other guys, all the other people who are going through hardships with the court systems and in their cities and this, that, and the third. And, hope that, God touch somebody hard and make some things happen. You know what I'm saying? So, this is Big Jeff.
It's Shanita.
Coming to you live from No Days Off Radio Production with the #1 show in the world. Nothing but the truth. And we out.
Bye, y'all.
All right, Jerry. See you later. All right.